Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video we're going to be covering the absolutely massive buffs to Labyrinth and how you guys can get the most out of them in the brand new league. So, in the new Ultimatum League, Grinding Gear is adding new uniques. They're giving us access to the Emperor's Mastery unique jewels, which are massively popular attribute stacking jewels, which were previously highly limited. They'll now just drop from Lab, so you're going to get a massive amount of new uniques and also really powerful uniques we know are worth a lot. But the thing that's most important is they're absolutely buffing the hell out of the Divine Font, which is completely crazy. So right now, to make money, the most reliable way to kind of get value from Lab is to use the Divine Font in Uber Lab on helmets. You pick a specific helmet base, for example, Indigon is a very popular one, and you just try and spam enchants on it until you get one which might line up with the unique base you have. So for Indigon, this example, Arcane Cloak is the one you'd be looking at here, and it's going to give you a significant increase over a base Indigon helmet. So an Indigon without enchant might be worth, 10C, an Indigon with the Uber enchant might be worth, 20 exalts or something like that, even more in some cases. Very, very good there. And that's where you get a lot of your value from in Lab. So generally, this is a completely random kind of endeavor, and you're just going to be spamming until you hit the thing you want. Well, this is being completely reworked and changed in the new patch, and that's what we're going to be min-maxing and running through right now. So in the new patch, we get a selection of enchants instead, and you get to see the enchants that you're gaining access to, completely changing the game and giving you a lot more min-max potential on your Lab. So right now, it's a complete numbers game. All you can do is slam and pray, but in the new league, when you're running Labyrinth, you're going to want to understand what all of the meta builds are, understand which helmets they're after, so which uniques it'll be on. So for example, a Tornado Shot build would want +1 Tornado Shot projectiles on a Fractal Thoughts helmet. Mana Miners will want that Arcane Cloak on an Indigon helmet, and maybe a bunch of other builds would want specific helmet enchants on uniques. And when you get those enchants to pop up here on your Divine Font, you need to have that unique ready, essentially giving players the ability to assign the exact enchants to the right uniques, essentially allowing you to get 100% efficiency out of every single enchant that you would use on the Divine Font. So previously, you might be enchanting Indigon, and you get a Tornado Shot helmet enchant on your Indigon. That is worthless. But now, with this user interface, you can put that Tornado Shot helmet on the right base for the right player and make money off all of these enchants you're getting, guaranteed. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg though. So let's say you didn't get a good helmet enchant, nothing here is good. You also have the option to enchant both boots and gloves. So you get 3 helmet enchants, which is already a 300% buff. You get the quality of life of assigning the right enchant to the right base. And then you also, if you got a complete miss, get to choose either gloves or boots. Generally, you're going to be choosing boots because boots have some of the most powerful enchants on them as well. Similar deal with the helmets. You're going to have a bunch of bases, whether they're two-toned boots, Sintrex, Skyforce, anything like that. You'll have a selection of them there so that you can make sure that you're kind of keeping stock of the right enchants and stuff like that. Make sure you're always selling what's in demand and what's got you the biggest margin on those enchants. But you could do stuff like Leech, Penetration, added lightning damage, attack speed, movement speed. All of these things are massive sellers, and you now have the complete option to go for that if you want it. You can pick the base, you can do the helmets, whatever you want. So overall, this is a massive buff to Lab running, and if you actually take into account everything, so you're using a Gift of the Goddess, which is a special Lab offering, which gives you 7 enchants instead of 1, and you're also using twice enchanted, and you pick up the Divine Font in the Lab as well, you're looking at 9 presumably different enchant windows, giving you 27 helmet enchant options, which is completely crazy compared to the random shotgun, random kind of approach where you're just spamming enchants on helmets. This is a massive quality of life. So how is this going to affect the economy? Well, enchants overall will always be on the correct base for the most part because players can choose where that enchant needs to go. So there's going to be a much higher efficiency on, kind of enchanting stuff in general. We're also getting more enchants, so there'll be more of the good enchants in the economy. So you can expect that enchants overall will be a lot cheaper and more accessible. But because you've got so much efficiency and you can kind of pick what kind of thing you want to enchant at what time, you're going to have a lot more opportunity at profit as well. And I imagine in the early game, when you're really getting going, on day 2 or 3, or maybe even 4, there's going to be a massive demand for a bunch of enchants. And if you're the person who's filling that demand on the right uniques at the right time, you could be making an absolute killing at league start. Another cool thing about lab running is that it's pretty much guaranteed profit between the new uniques, all the currency you get from lab chests, the enchants, which are pretty much guaranteed now between boots and helmets. You're never going to pretty much lose money, which is great as well. Overall, you're probably going to want a special lab running character, but I think lab is absolutely one of the most exciting things that you could be doing in the new league, as it has a ton of untapped potential, and you're going to have a ton of min-maxing to do with understanding which builds want which enchants on the unique helmets, and there's so many different markets that you can play in there. It's going to be a really fun experience to really get your hands dirty and understand how you can make the most currency possible off of all those enchants. So with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed this short video on lab. I'm super excited, maybe even I give it a try, but yeah, it looks really, really awesome and very profitable indeed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.